And our first test is going to be an autocross test that has some sharp turns in it. It has a chicane in it. It has a bunch of different maneuvers that are designed to demonstrate the vehicle's handling capabilities. And if you're ready to go, so are we.
I'm ready.
You're ready.
This Typhoon handles that tight little course. How'd I do?
Well, you look good out there, Ed, but we're going to give you the results a little later. First, we want to go to our anti-lock braking test.
Okay. Do you mind if we take a little break here?
No, not at all. In fact, it'll give Bill a chance to download the data from the computer.
Great. While Bill does that, let's take this opportunity to go to Jim Bridges and his report.
Sure looks like the pickup owner had a lot of fun with this radiator, doesn't it? One of the worst and potentially the most dangerous things that can happen to your engine is to have a leak in the cooling system. If you're lucky, the worst that's going to happen to you is a visit to your friendly neighborhood radiator store, like Young's Radiator here in San Fernando, California. I've come here because I've heard news about a new radiator restorer that can actually seal cooling system leaks while conditioning your system at the same time. Chuck Friend is the owner of Young's Radiator. Hi, Chuck.
Glad to meet you, Jim.
Good to meet you. Now, you've been in this business for over 35 years, so I imagine you've run into almost any kind of cooling problem.
Darn near it, but some of them we could repair.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, taking a look around your shop here, you don't have just car radiators, lots of others, too.
We work on any kind of radiator, any kind of cooling system. Industrial, forklifts, Caterpillars, trucks, tractors, you name it.
You also have a history in racing as well. What other things do you do when you work on these radiators?
Well, most of the time, radiator gets boiled out. If it's dirty, we take the tank off, rot it out. If it's leaking around the header plates, we do solder around all the tubes. It's just general overhauling, major overhauling.
Okay. Now, when we have a radiator, and you've got a smaller demonstration model looks for us here, what are the radiator cooling problems?
Well, probably the biggest problem we have is electrolysis in the system. Anytime you submerge just similar metals in water, you can set up electrolysis. Basically, you got a battery here.
Really?
You have brass tanks, you have copper core, you have copper fin, brass tubes. It's all put together with solder. Normal solder is about 40% lead. Lead is the weakest metal in the system. Consequently, it's a sacrificial metal. It corrodes.
So you've got electrolysis to battle there, too. What other problems do you run into?
Lack of care. Somebody buys a vehicle, doesn't put anything but water in it. Just lack of care is probably the best thing you can say.
What's the deal with this older radiator sitting here?
Well, this is a very good example of a radiator that's absolutely lack of care. You can see the corrosion, the crud, the sludge. And believe it or not, this darn thing, they drove it into my shop.
It needs your help to drive out again. So
now, this is a radiator with, you got sludge and gunk, or whatever you want to call it in here. But this is a real example of electrolysis. This is electrolytical action. It's 8 to 10 out of the solder.
Sure is.
And you can see this. It's just like your battery cable when it becomes corroded. And you can see the tubes are all closed shut, just choked off on the end.
So you have electrolysis to battle and other elements to contend with, too. Maybe a heater core could fail.
The heater core is right in the same system. You run under 15 pounds pressure. What corrosion you have in your radiator, you have in a heater. And consequently, if one fails, the other one usually fails.
Got other gaskets to worry about as well.
You have your gaskets. You also have freeze plugs in the car. Any of these things, you have dissimilar metals there. And then the darn cars come out with aluminum heads, cast iron blocks. So we just have a problem, built-in problem.
Sounds like a lot of ways that a cooling system can fail. How can we prevent these costly problems?
The main thing is routine maintenance. Keeping your system clean, changing your coolant every couple of years. Any system is going to leak. Any radiator will leak. But there's a new product on the market. It's called Restore. It is a stop leak, anti-foaming action, anti-corrosion, and a water pump lubricant. Now, this is a very effective product. I think it's going to be real good. If you use this annually, when you change your coolant, You prevent a lot of small problems, gasket, grease plugs, whatever.
Now, I'm familiar with Engine Restore that helps restore power and compression for older engines. Have you had a chance to test this?
Yes, I have. I've used it on a car with a water pump gasket leak. It had a very corroded timing gear cover. We'd have never got it off. It worked. I've used it on the radiator where it was leaking, this graphic example of the heavy corrosion here, and it worked. I used it on the car with freeze plugs. This guy didn't have time to change. It has stopped. So it is a very good, effective maintenance item. When you change your antifreeze, add a can of it. I think it'll be the way to go. Just add Radiator Restore to your cooling system every time you add antifreeze.
Chuck, it says on the can that it conditions cooling systems. How would it do that?
Well, a cooling system, let's say a gallon of antifreeze you put in your car, has 1 ounce of antirest. And over a period of approximately a year, it turns from alkaline to acid. That's when corrosion takes over. This prevents this. It has a stop leak in it, which is a good security for your gasket. Anti-corrosion and anti-foam, which is very important in the system too. And lubricates, but it conditions. It brings your inhibitor back up to operating when it's on the alkaline side. The corrosion is now gone.
Also says it's environmentally safe, which is very important.
Very important in this day and age, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a new product, but it sounds like that old adage still stands true. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
You're right, but this is 8 fluid ounces.
You got me this time. Chuck, I can't believe after 35 years in this business, though, you found a way to keep people away from your shop.
Well, most people are not going to take care of their car. Our average person will. The guy that wants to, but most people will not take care of their car.
So a way to keep up the maintenance is to use the Radiator Restore, and then see you a little later down the road.
Way to go.
All right. Hey, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Jim.
Appreciate it, Chuck. Now let's get you back to Ed Bruce.
Thanks, Jim. We know the Typhoon's fast. Now let's see how well it stops. In this test, the anti-lock brake system.
That's fantastic.
The slalom test and the skid pad will give us a chance to see how well this truck handles under extreme conditions.
Going in a circle isn't as easy as it looks, especially in a vehicle like the Typhoon that's capable of sustaining extremely high speeds through a constant sharp turn. We'll be finished with the lateral G-force test in just a minute. When we come back, I'll give you those results.
If you have any questions about today's show, you can call toll-free 1-800-832-7469. Now here's something of interest for all automotive enthusiasts.
If this is your idea of a pretty picture, then this video is for you. Just call 800-223-2622 to order Trick Trucks, part of Diamond P Sports Truckin Trilogy Video Library. Trick Trucks is over 60 minutes of the rarest, finest, and wildest trucks to be found from across America. You'll see radical custom show trucks, classic restorations, big rigs, truck jamborees, and the unique stories of the owners are just as interesting as the trucks they own. For only $14.95, Trick Trucks is an easy addition to your video library. To order, call 800-223-2622 or send check or money order for $14.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to the address on your screen. That's 800-223-2622. And while you're ordering, pick up on the official Truckin USA t-shirt. Its design comes right from the TV show with TNN and Diamond P logos. That's 800-223-2622.